45 minutes from the wedding.
We're out after what the brother.
Greetings and welcome, friends. Today we're talking about, well, we're continuing our look at solving rational equations, but specifically we're going to talk about some word problems. So I guess these are more going to be verbal and pictorial problems, but you could imagine that words could have been used to describe the situations that I'm demonstrating. So let's say, let me draw a little picture here. Here's Haystack Mountain. Here's Wilmington, here's Hogback Mountain, then Marlboro, and so here's Hay, Hog, Wilmingtony, and Marl, all right? And let's say due to inclement weather conditions and all the snow, people decided that crashing into gift shops on Hogback Mountain is a bad idea. So we're not going to have a road go over Hogback Mountain anymore. Mayor Hank of Wilmington decided, let's build a tunnel.
Mayor
Hank of Wilmington, that's right. And of course, you guys all know that the mayor of Marlboro, I don't know who, no, actually he's a character that you might be familiar with. It's this guy, Krang from the Ninja Turtles. Do you know who Krang is?
That's stupid. I wanted to be big.
So there's Krang. And here's Mayor Hank, and Hank's got. I was gonna draw a top hat, but
Do it.
so here's Mayor Hank, and Hank's got a monocle. All right, and Hank ran on a political platform of saying, "Let's build a tunnel to Marlboro to make the world a safer place." All right, so Hank, it turns out he's going to. Like, him and Krang decide, all right, we'll have both towns just start digging, each on different sides of the hill, okay? And Hank, I don't know if you realize this, a Minecraft expert, happens to have a diamond pickaxe, sorry. All right, so there's Hank with his diamond-tipped pickaxe. And Krang, I don't know if you remember Krang, he had these awesome, like, little tunnel driller things like this, and like they had like cool little treads on them. I don't know if you've ever seen those, perhaps in the Ninja Turtle arcade game. Some Bebop and Rocksteady came out of them once at the first like level, and you had to fight them. But yeah, so each town is going to start tunneling. So Hank's going to tunnel this way, and Krang's going to tunnel this way, and then someday, assuming they did their trigonometry right, they're going to meet in the middle and hooray, we've built a tunnel underneath Hogback Mountain. Good news, right? Yes? No? So you guys understand the idea so far?
Yes.
So here's some facts coming at you. It turns out Hank, with his diamond-tipped pickaxe, all right, he could tunnel through the entire thing if he was to do the whole thing on his own. All right, Hank could tunnel the whole way in, let's say it would take Hank 2 years to tunnel the whole thing alone. All right? Krang, it turns out, even with all of his advanced technology from the 1980s Ninja Turtles cartoons, cannot keep up with Hank and his diamond pickaxe. Krang would actually take 3 years if he was to do it alone. So the question is, if they're each working, digging at their own sides, how long would it take them to dig the tunnel together? All right? So I'll say that's T years together. All right, so now you have seen this problem. All right, you fully understand what's at stake here. Many gift shops have been ruined. Dangerous roads are to be averted. Lives theoretically will be saved. And Hank will set a Guinness Book of World Records for digging with a diamond pickaxe. All right? I imagine he won't hit any bedrock while making this tunnel, but he might find some diamonds, some coal, maybe some redstone ore. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be impressed. But anyways, so now we've got to figure out, okay, so here's kind of my situations. Here's my variable. T is the years it takes them to dig the tunnel when they work together. Could you guys throw out some guesses? How long do you think it would take them working together?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. 2.5. Other guesses?
1.5.
1.5 years. Other guesses? 1 year.
1.75.
1.75. 2 years. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these guesses first of all. All right, now Hank could tunnel alone in 2 years. Hopefully Krang is doing some actual work, so that would eliminate this possible guess. Now, for this to be accurate, which I know it's actually sometimes you end up thinking like, oh, I'll just take the average of these two numbers. However, what that would be saying is that Krang is actually slowing Hank down. It's like Hank is digging his tunnel, and then when he goes to sleep at night in his house to hide from the zombies, Krang is sneaking over and like going over the mountain and putting dirt back in the tunnel, right, is what like Krang's doing, because it's taking longer than if Hank did it alone. All right, so we don't want to just take the average of these two things. All right, so I'm guessing that these are all probably all right guesses. This, I would guess, is the case if each of them could have, if each of them had the same rate. If each of them could have done the whole tunnel in 2 years, I'm guessing that together, then that would average out to, or not average out, but they would have together been able to do it in 1 year. Right, each of them doing half of the tunnel in 1 year, the whole tunnel would be complete. So I'm guessing that this one would not be the answer either. So I think these are our best contenders right here. So let's see what happens. Now, when writing our equation, all right, or equations, actually it's just going to be one equation. I want you to think about this. All right, what part of the tunnel could Hank dig in 1 year? Half of the tunnel. I completely agree. So this is a portion of tunnel dug in 1 year. All right. So Hank can dig half of the tunnel in a year. How much of the tunnel could Krang dig in a year? Right? If the whole tunnel takes him 3 years, 1/3 of the job would be done in hiccup. I don't. What do you say to a hiccup? Excuse you? God bless you. You're welcome.
I bless you, but I don't think it'd do any good.
There you go. So 1/3 is the length of the amount of the tunnel that Krang could dig in 1 year. Now, if I add these amounts together, all right. So let's say 1 year in, Hank's dug halfway, Krang's dug 1/3 of the way. They're not done yet because that doesn't add up to a whole. But what that does add up to is the amount of the tunnel they would have dug if they were working together. So if together they could dig the whole tunnel in T years, what amount of the tunnel would be dug after 1 year in terms of T? Well, actually, it's almost my favorite fraction. 1/10 of the tunnel would be dug in 1 year. Okay? Right? If T years is what it takes for the entire tunnel to be dug when they're working together, in 1 year, the fractional amount that would be completed is 1/10 of the tunnel. I love the awkward plurality of that. It sounds ridiculous. So this is my equation. All right? Hank's portion of the tunnel dug plus Krang's portion of the tunnel dug should equal the portion of the tunnel that they dug together. All right? So what do I have? A rational equation. So let's solve this. How do I solve this? Well, I would be interested in finding out what is the LCD of that. Between 2, 3, and T? 60? I'm sorry, what? 60? Oh, 6T. So, what do I do with this now? Multiply both sides by... No! That's if we were just adding. I'm going to multiply the entire side by just straight up the LCD, and that's going to kill all my fractions. So multiply this by 6T, multiply this by 6T. All right? So let's see. Check this out. So here we are. 6T divided by 2 is 3T. 3t. And 3t times 1 is 3t. 6t divided by 3 is 2t. My 6th grade social studies teacher used to refer to me as Bean Bayog Wa Tootie Hog Pog. I don't know why. I think it's because my last name was hard to pronounce, and she just made it worse somehow. So there you go. Her name was Mrs. Romano, like the cheese. So 6t divided by 3t is 2t, and 2t times 1 is 2t. Equals, let's see, 6t divided by t is 6, because the t's cancel out, and 6 times 1 is 6. I can solve this. Here we go. Those look like some like terms to me. I like it a lot. Here we are. 3t, 2t, 5t equals 6. Div by 5. And I get t equals 6/5, which is about 1.2, Jacob. I think you'd agree. So, yeah, I mean, I guess technically this was closer, but I don't know. This was technically closest. But yeah, it's technically less than that. But the point is, whoa, screen was going crazy. The total time, let's see, it would take 1.2 years to dig the tunnel. If they work together. Wonderful! Isn't that great news? Now, Marlborough and Wilmington will end the decades-long war that they've had and will no longer have its sons and daughters dying to the needless bloodshed. Oh wait, I think that's historically inaccurate, but that's fine. Also, I don't know if it's true. I'm sure I could change Wikipedia to reflect that Krang is in fact the mayor of Marlborough, even though neither of these towns have mayors. But nonetheless, I like this problem. No, we don't. And that's why Hank is going to, in the future, declare himself mayor of Wilmington, like some sort of dictatorial autocrat, maybe. And look at Hank. I wouldn't vote for him. He's got a monocle. He's rich. We don't want him as our mayor.
I know. Is that like
He makes pickaxes out of diamonds. That's how wealthy he is. He's just rubbing our noses in his money. Terrible. So let's take a look at one more problem here.
It's so much harder.
All right, here we go. Same concept, different setup. All right, let's say here we are. Let's see. Here's a house. It's a house. That's a sad house right there. So here's a house, and let's say this house happens to have, like, I don't know, a driveway or something. And let's say the driveway just goes, or we'll shovel the walkway, tell you what. So here's the walkway, and then suddenly, like, snow. All right, so here's, like, little snow, and then it's like, boom, and, like, snow just fills this walkway. Oh, man, that's snow everywhere, right? And then who peeks out of their window? But who is it? Who's it gonna be?
Evan.
Okay, it's Evan.
No,
I like
not
it.
Evan, not Evan.
And here's Evan. He's wearing an awesome, cool, like, elf hat.
Yes.
Yeah, there he is. So there's Evan. And Evan's like, oh no, look at, he's like got his mouth open. He's like, oh darn, my walkway, it's covered in snow. And he's like, and Evan happens to know, well, he doesn't know how long it would take him to shovel the walkway to like all together, but he knows he's a pretty fast shoveler. I don't know if you realize that. And out of the next window, let's say, or actually no, let's say Skylar's walking down the street. So here's Skylar, and she's like, I'm a pretty good shoveler. And what kind of hat would Skylar have? She'd probably have, like, I don't know, some sort of cool cowboy hat. Cowgirl hat, maybe. Look at that hat. That's awesome. And Skylar, she's She's got like her shovel already. Look at that awesome shovel. This is the best right here. And she also walks around without a body or limbs, just her head, disembodied. But she still somehow ends up being a really good shoveler. All right? And both of them have actually shoveled this walkway before. And we found out, actually let's define some of our facts here, our variables even. It turns out that together, they could shovel the walk in, let's see, shovel time, I'll just call it. Bam. It's going to be my new hit song. It's going to be the sequel to Hammer Time. It's going to be amazing. Shovel time. Together it takes them, let's say it takes them, I don't know, 5 hours. It's a terribly long and deep snow and walkway. So Skylar and Evan together are able to shovel the walkway in 5 hours. Now, Evan working alone, all right, alone, let's say it takes Evan T hours alone. All right? And Evan happens to know, even though he doesn't own his own cowboy hat and or shoveling business, he happens to know he's a pretty quick shoveler. All right? And Skylar, he knows, he's made this claim. We don't know if it's accurate, but he knows that if Skylar shovels the walkway alone, it would take her 1 more hour to shovel the walkway. So T plus 1 hours for her to shovel the whole walk. All right? So however long it takes Evan, he's like, I can still beat you by an hour, is what he confidently says.
Of course he is.
All right, that's what he's boasting. So the question is, okay, so if we know together it takes them 5 hours, let's figure out how long does it take Evan to shovel the walk if he did it alone, and how long would it take Skylar to shovel the walk if she did it alone. All right, so let's set up some equations here. Here we are. So together, they can shovel the whole walk in 5 hours.
Can it just be 2 and 3?
2 and 3? All right, so you want to have some guesses? So you're saying 2 and 3 is your guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't 2 just be the guess if your team is never your guess?
Yeah, how long would it take Evan to shovel the walk? Alone.
Yeah.
You should just do it. It's gonna be about 2 and 3.
Now, technically, would you think that Evan could shovel the walk faster than they working together could shovel the walk?
No.
So it'd be like 3.
So it would be about 5.
It's got to be bigger than 5.
Oh. So like, whatever. Not to
7, 8, maybe?
I can't.
Okay, so we recant this. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want this.
Yeah, Hank, keep to just digging your tunnels.
You shovel my snow.
Yeah. Actually, in Minecraft, I believe you can remove snow with a pickaxe. Doesn't make sense.
Shovel.
But you can also use the shovel thing, right?
And then it gives you snowballs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Then you can make snow bricks.
Wow. Sounds amazing. Does anyone else have any other guesses for what our possible solutions might be? How long do you think it takes, Evan?
8, 9.
6, 7? All right, we've got an 8, 9. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, question. If together they can shovel the whole walkway in 5 hours, what amount of the walkway would be done in 1 hour?
4.
4 walkways?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
In 1 hour.
In 1 hour. So 5 hours, the whole thing's done. What amount of the job is done in 1 hour?
2 plus 1.
1/5 of the job is done in 1 hour. And that should equal the 1 hour amount that Evan would do and the 1 hour amount that Skylar would do. So if Evan can shovel the whole walk in T hours, what amount of the walk would be done in 1 hour by Evan? 1 teeth. Right? And if Skylar can shovel the whole walk in T plus 1 hours, what amount of the walk is done after 1 hour?
1 plus 1. Or just 1.
1 over
1.
T plus 1th of the walk.
Okay.
All right, notice to figure out what portion of the job is done in 1 hour, all I'm doing is kind of reciprocating these, right, is kind of the trick. So there's my equation. Let's solve it. So, what is the LCD between all of these?
T5.
There needs to be a 5, I agree.
T
5T plus 1.
5.
5T. Parentheses T plus 1.
Ooh, I like it, Hank.
Nice job, Hank.
I like it. Because t plus 1 and t are each their own factors. Notice these are not common factors in any way. This t could never cancel out with that one alone. So good call. I like that. So there's my LCD. So let's multiply both sides by it. Here we go. And actually, like, what's funny is the whole time you two are like arguing about doing the walk, here's Mr. Waddy. He's looking out this window and he's like, I'm not going to shovel anything, but I'm going to just do the math.
We live together. Why?
No, we like rent an apartment together.
No,
Like, not together, but like side by side.
Well, then why'd you say it was a house?
Or maybe I was like hiding in your house the whole time and you didn't know it.
I'm not moving. I am moving.
Let's see. And I, of course, am wearing a crown.
Hey,
Ju-
hey.
And I'm like, I am too good to shovel the walk. I'll just do the math on how long it will take them to shovel the walk. Yeah. So let's see. So let's multiply both sides by the LCD. Right. So for this left side, LCD, what cancels with the denominator? The 5. So I'd be left with t times t plus 1 multiplied by 1.
T times T plus 1.
So that's just t times t plus 1. T time. Let's see, over here, what cancels out with a t? T, so I'd be left with 5 parentheses t plus 1 times 1. So 5 times t plus 1. Here we are. Okay, and then on this one, the t plus 1's cancel out. And I'd be left with 5t times 1 or plus 5t. All right, let's see if we can solve this. All right, I'm going to distribute. Distributing. Whoop. Good stuff. So over here I'll have t squared plus t equals 5t plus 5 plus 5t.
I was thinking the T's are the plus mark. So.
Yeah, that's why I always put tails on my t's for that reason. Don't want to mix them up with a plus sign. That'd be a shame. So let's see. It's a quadratic, so I'm going to have to set this equal to 0 and solve. I'll subtract this 5t from both sides. I'll subtract this 5t from both sides. Look, there's a stack of t's growing here, right? All in the same column, of course. And then I'll subtract this 5 from both sides. And what am I going to get? I'm going to get t squared. T minus 5 minus 9t. And minus 5 equals 0. Yeah, I think I would use quadratic formula for this one. Let's do this. So x equals, it's not factorable is why I'm doing that, by the way. And also I don't like the odd number in the middle if I'm completing the square. The opposite of b, so that's 9, plus or minus the square root of b squared, or negative 9 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1 times c, which is negative 5. Boop, 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 boop. All over 2 times 1. All right, let's figure this out. Figurins. 9 plus or minus the square root of 81. And we've got negative 4 or negative 5 is positive 9, right? Oh, 20, that's true too. I like that, even better. Classic. Divided by 2, x equals 9 plus or minus the square root of hundo and wundo. All over 2. Square root of 101, what's that going to be about? 10-ish, right? Let's actually figure this out. So I'll have the square root of 101, 10.05, add 9 to that and divide by 2, and I'll get x equals 9.52, or I could have had 9 minus the square root of 10 divided by 2. Ooh, and I got 2.92. Well, because it's a quadratic. But now my question is, wait a minute. Let's take a look at the original problem. Could t, the answer I just solved, could Evan's time possibly have ever been 2.92?
No.
No, unless Skylar was shoveling snow onto the walkway that Evan was just clearing. Like, which I don't think Skylar would do that. That'd be mean. Right? So I'm going to exclude that answer for that reason, right? Because Evan can't work faster than that. So this is Evan's time. And what would Skylar's time be?
10.5.
So let's see. So my answer is Evan can shovel the walk in 9.52 hours. And Skylar can shovel the walk in 10.52 hours. And if I didn't know Skylar's right away, I could just take this and plug it back into one of my other equations. So plug it in here is what I'd end up being able to do to get that. So there we go. How close was our guess? I think, was it Skylar? Was your guess the closest?
No, I won't.
Oh, Hank was the one that said 8, 9?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's technically like closer to 9 and 10. But there you go. So you can actually solve these problems, setting up equations. It's not that bad. So have a good day, friends. Bye-bye.